The Khukuri knife is a famous symbol of Nepal and a symbol of the famed Gorka soldiers. Many people outside of Nepal know of the Gorka soldiers from their work for the British, who have been hiring Nepal's warriors since the early 1800s. These knives are prized for their craftsmanship, strength, utility, and beauty, and have been used by Nepalis in times of war, and also for many practical jobs in times of peace. By many accounts, the Khukuri is one of the oldest knives still being used in its ancient form. The knives have long been made by the Vishwakarmas, also called the Kami people, who are the traditional blacksmith caste of Nepal. The fact that many people in this caste have learned this trade, as it has been passed down generation to generation, is one reason that the amazing craftsmanship is so celebrated and why the old traditions of the knife have been maintained over so many centuries.
These days, most Khukuri knife blades are made out of the discarded leaf springs from old trucks. The handles are most commonly made from Indian rosewood or water buffalo horn.
Ian Poole and I decided to go see for ourselves exactly how Khukuri knives were made and to try our hands at actually making one in Kathmandu, Nepal.
The master smiths still use charcoal forges and often work in teams for the heavier shaping tasks. Here they are drawing out the tang, which is the part that the handle will attach to. The master bladesmith let me start right into the fun part of beating and forming the knife blade. As I took my turn, I got to feel up close the heat of the forge, as the blast from the electric bellows made the steel hot enough to be at working temperature. All of a sudden, the importance of the everyday phrase, "strike while the iron is hot," made perfect sense as I tried my hand at forming the edge of the blade. Using the handmade tongs, that they also make right here, to control the blade required certain muscles and strengths that I just did not have being a novice. When the master bladesmith works on a blade, he is careful to shape his work to match the approved template. Meanwhile, a brass smith is bashing out the brass to become part of the Khukuri handle in another area of the workshop.
The handles of the Khukuris fit really comfortably in your hand. Even for people not generally into things like knives, I highly recommend holding some of these finished knives in your hands because the fit and balance is really great.
Traditionally, all parts of these knives were made by hand. While some are still completely made that way, these days many knife makers also use power tools for some of the steps in the process. They use pedestal grinders for fine shaping, then an electric polisher to polish all the parts of the knife.
When one buys a kukuri, it generally comes in a leather sheath and has 2 little knives in the sheath as well as the big blade. One is a small utility knife for convenient small knife jobs called a karda. They are also beaten out by hand and have one sharp side.
The other one is a small knife sharpener called the chakmak, for times when one has to sharpen one's knife while on the go, like in the middle of a job. It's not what one would use for doing a really complete sharpening job, but great to have along for maintenance sharpening.
Another whole art form is the making of the handmade sheaths for the knives. They start with building the frame from simul wood, which is known as silk cotton tree in English. Then they use water buffalo skin, which they wrap around the sheath, bringing a really cool, sleek look and an impeccable fit for each knife. Notice that the sheaths also come with loops so that you can attach it to your belt so you can wear them.
There is a lot of double checking the products at every step of the process, since these knives are both a work of art and something to be really used for many years.
Notice that there may be many different styles of kukuri knives, but they all have a little notch down near the handle. That is called a kauri, and it supposedly helps stop liquids from things being cut from getting down to the handle and to your hands. I've also heard that a skilled kukuri user can disarm an enemy by catching their knife in the kauri to rip it from their hands. Many people also say that it stands for the Om symbol that is often used in Hindu and Buddhist meditation and practices. There are a number of stories out there with its potential symbolisms and origin. One can also collect a lot of stories about the great feats accomplished with the kukuri knives as a whole, and of the symbolisms and possible powers of those knives.
One thing that is for sure is that anyone coming to Nepal should definitely plan a little time to at least check out a few of the kukuri shops for themselves, even if not to buy one, but just to see the craftsmanship and the beauty of the knives and see how well they fit into the hand. If anyone is interested, there are also some options to actually have a go at learning how to make one while visiting Nepal as well.